Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us on the Spyshack podcast, the podcast where superfans get together and talk the latest episode of Survivor. And guys, we're back. We're back for another season. Before we get anywhere, I want to just introduce everybody who's with us today. Randy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be back.
Kim, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Again, I just want to say I love and miss my son every day, and I'm looking forward to talking about yesterday's episode.
Yeah, and I know you had some choice words for one of the contestants, at least for now. But you know what? Let's go ahead and just do this. Before we delve into anything specific, I want to ask for one word description of your thoughts of this premiere. Randy?
I will say basic.
Kim?
Paranoia.
Short. I think I think short would be the best one to describe, because I think we've gotten used to the 90-minute, 2-hour episodes, and honestly, I don't think an hour episode is too bad for a premiere. But with 3 tribes, it gets a little hectic especially for the first boot, when you really at least want to see something from the first boot, right?
No, I'll agree with you 100%, because at first I'm like, it's only an hour? And people were talking about who's going home and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but they didn't really focus on these people. I don't know. And it was only an hour. So they condensed it too short to really focus on who was going home, because I guessed wrong only based on the edit.
Yeah, all of a sudden we were voting. It went fast.
It did. And I guessed wrong because of the edit. Nothing else, but I couldn't really figure out who was going home because there was just not much.
Yeah.
And we saw very little of the Hustler tribe because they probably had the least amount of drama.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to it here. We'll talk about each individual tribe. Before we do, I want to talk about the marooning. We have another marooning. I believe this is 4 seasons in a row, 5 seasons in a row that's happened. What do you guys think of the marooning?
It was pretty chaotic. Nothing too crazy happened. Hearing some interviews, it sounds like Jeff was waiting to ring the bell until someone found the advantage, and it took forever for them to finally find it. And it sounds like only Ryan and Patrick were the only ones left on the boat when he found it. So it wasn't that hidden. It wasn't even hidden that much.
No, it was behind bananas, or in front of bananas?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. There was nothing too crazy about the marooning, and there never really is. But I liked the little challenge with it.
Yes, especially. You know what? I forgot to do something. Let's say hi to a couple of people who are here on already. We have Caroline. We have Caroline that's on here. We have our usual Doug. Doug is like our official our official fan. We got Patty Renshaw, Blake, Isabel, and I just saw Jose Correa. How y'all doing? It looks like Jose says he likes the healers the best.
Smart guy.
So okay, so let's talk about. Let's go back to the marooning. The secret advantage, right? We talked about it last season, where it feels like it was so chaotic that something hidden in plain sight, you're not expecting it, to the point where it is actually hidden in plain sight. So I can see why everybody misses it, although by now I think people should start already realizing that there's going to be something at the marooning, or at least at the beginning of the game.
Absolutely. Well, they even talk about that when they get back to camp. A couple of them do. We see that. So it just amazes me that some people are jumping off the boat so quickly, like just to gather stuff, when they should at least spend a little bit of time looking. It didn't really feel like anyone had that purpose.
Oh, I agree with you. As a fan, I would assume that there is something on that boat for me to find that could help my game. And I would have pretended I was grabbing stuff and throwing stuff off the boat as I'm looking.
So do you think that people actually just saw it and then just didn't want to get it just because they were too too scared to maybe someone see him, or because I do remember I forgot who it was. I think it was it Patrick who brought it up, or no, was it
Devin brought it up?
Okay, Devin, they saw something, right? They just didn't go after it.
No, I don't think the way I interpreted that, it didn't seem like he saw it. It just seems like he's like, someone found one, right? Because there's gonna be one on the boat. Like, we know there was one on the boat because there always is. So we're just assuming someone. I just think people got too excited. The game was starting, and Probst seems to start the game so quickly. Like all of a sudden, he's talking and introducing the tribes, and then he's just like, "Survivor's on, go."
So he's always so excited. Like he's my favorite host of all the shows out there.
I think they just got a little excited and forgot to look for it.
Yeah, and I've heard from other even like from Jessica and all that from the moment that he's talking to the point that go ahead and do everything, it gets really hectic. And hey, Mark's on. How you doing, Mark?
I'm good. Sorry about that. I had a work call earlier. So I'm glad to join you guys. Thanks for having me.
Good morning, Mark. Nice haircut. Did you get a haircut?
Yeah, I did get a haircut late last week.
So Mark, let's go ahead and ask you this. One word to describe the premiere.
I'm not sure if we can say this on air. Well, okay. Butthole.
What was that?
Butthole.
Okay.
So I think I know you're talking about.
Okay, I think I know what you mean.
So okay, so the marooning happens. They actually tie the Quest for Fire challenge to this. A little bit different here because now the first two teams to arrive to get the fire actually get to take fire home. The first team gets this big old massive bonfire at their camp. So I think that adds a little bit more motivation to try to leave off the ship, and I think that also goes with people missing that secret advantages because everyone's like, we need to get out there and get that fire. Although I don't know how much it affected the team that didn't get the fire.
Yeah, especially when they couldn't row.
So yeah,
no, it was bad, and I've figured that the Hustler team would struggle in some of the challenges just because their lack of strength. But what they don't have in strength, they do make up in other ways. So I'm hoping that maybe that'll help them. I don't know, but I like Ryan a lot, so who knew?
We have Blake, who said that they're glad that they did the marooning on the ship and that they did it reminds him of Quest for Fire, that challenge, which is, I think it was supposed to harken to that. Doug says that the episode was whelming, not over, not under, just whelming, which I think I think can be. And Blake says exciting. To be honest, it's exciting because it's a new season of Survivor. Adam, remember what Adam said at the end of the last season with us? He said that the worst season of Survivor is better than no season of Survivor. So that is true. I believe that.
I could not agree more to that. That's what I always say. Good season, bad season, I still enjoy it.
Yeah,
I love Survivor's probably my favorite reality TV show. I like it more than Big Brother.
So we get Ryan, who is on Kim's team, who finds a secret advantage, and we'll talk about a little bit more about it later. And healers and heroes get fire. The healers get the fire in the form of that big bonfire, and the heroes get flint. And I think they both get flint either way, but the heroes get flint. And how did Jess put it? The hustlers are trying to figure out what game they're playing, or something.
Yes, that was funny.
So yeah, I saw it on Facebook and goes, man, Jeff is really being what is the word they say? Really being a prick this season, and it just started.
I love that.
Let me see. Let's go ahead and talk about the individual tribes. Ray, do you want to talk about the healers?
Absolutely, I love talking about the healers. The healers are my tribe. So the tribe dynamics were interesting when they got back to camp. I was impressed with Rourke. She seemed very calm and collected and very positive for everyone. I really like that. Everyone loves Cole, which wasn't a big surprise. Jessica seems chill. The only real drama on the Healers Tribe was Dr. Mike and Joe. That was the only real drama that we saw on the Healers Tribe, where Dr. Mike is a little bit nervous, as we all kind of expected, a super fan, just kind of nervous. But Joe seems very paranoid, and he very much confronts Dr. Mike, which I think it's interesting with Joe as a healer, where he can have people can have a bad perception of him to begin with, because he can come off very gruff and very straightforward and kind of conniving. Plus, he looks like Tony and acts like Russell. So I think that, but when you have that healer tag to you, you can't be that bad of a guy. So I think that may help him in the long run, where people go into it thinking he's going to be a good guy because he's a healer, but he may play a little underhanded. So I think that'll be interesting. And I didn't mention Desi. I think she's the only one I didn't mention, but she was just kind of there. I like Desi. I think she did good in the challenge. So yeah, I'm real happy with the Healers Tribe.
I know. I think they're a good tribe. I think you're giving Joe a little bit too much credit. Yes, he looks a little like Tony, acts a little like Russell, but I think and this is going to sound a little mean, I think he's just a little dumber than Russell.
Oh yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right.
I don't think that Russell would have been that aggressive with Mike. I know you have the idol because I know things. Like, poor Mike doesn't have anything.
Exactly.
And Mike seems more of a laid-back, passive guy that probably doesn't deal with aggression well. Yeah. And because this is how Joe probably deals with his, not clients, but, the people, criminals, I guess. He has to be tough and rough, and you can't be nice to these guys that are on probation. You can't coddle them and say, it's okay, I'm here for you. And he doesn't know how to adapt to changing that a little bit, to saying, okay, these aren't criminals. Part of this game is lying, but I have to find a better way to figure out if I really think Mike has an idol. Instead of aggressively approaching him, maybe try to put him in my alliance and see if I can get it out of him that way.
Yeah, I think what he did well though is that I think he caught himself being that bully, and then he kind of like tried to flip it on its head by saying, he goes, no, I'm coming up to you because I actually I feel like you. Yeah, I respect you, and I feel like you might be the one that has the idol. And so I think he did that better than someone else in the episode. But
yes, and I'll talk about him.
But I mean, even after the initial challenge, after they got back to camp, he started getting aggressive and started taking charge. And overall, this is not a very good look for Joe, and this is going to get him into trouble very, very quick if they were to go to tribal council anytime soon.
I agree
100%. It's not a good look. And when you're already seen as a power player, sometimes they look at Tony. He went home, week 2 last season? They'll get rid of those power players. They don't care.
Yeah, and not going too far ahead is he wasn't really all that impressive in the immunity challenge when we do get there to begin with.
He was absolutely not impressive, and we'll get to that.
Like, usually you think a stronger guy is safe at the beginning, but that may not really help him all that much. Cole has the strength of like 3 guys.
Yeah, Cole's great.
He's a big dude.
So we have pretty much everyone who's in the chat saying they love the healers. Doug says healers Bay. Desi especially Bay. Blake, I love the healers. Patty says Dr. Mike is going to gather wood, but keeps looking at the map like he's afraid he's going to get lost or something, or he's hoping that the marks or the X's is where the idol is. So I want to say I think my first pick is great. I got Cole. So I think he's working. He's looking pretty good. He looked like he's teaming up with Kim's Ryan. And as soon as I saw them together, I read right away. I was on Facebook and I put that's the new JT and Fishback, and I think everybody's been talking about that. So I'm like, I'm not the only one who thought that.
Somebody mentioned on Twitter it's the new Ken and David. But I don't know. Ken was not as great as Cole. I mean, not as Cole as JT. So
yeah.
But David is kind of like a Ryan, I guess, a little bit. I like Ryan, so we'll see what he does.
So, Blake says Cole might get in trouble with Jessica. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later on. Okay, so next we have Kim, who wants to talk to us about. Should I put her to talk about the heroes?
Oh my!
All right, my heroes.
We're talking before immunity right now.
Okay. I like JP. I'm really glad I have him in my draft. He's physical. He seems very nice. He doesn't seem flaky. I like Ashley. Ashley seems to be an asset too. Excuse me. Now I have to think. Alan is Alan. We'll get to that a little bit. Because we got to talk about him post immunity, right? We can't talk about him just yet. And then we have Katrina, who I had nothing to say because you would forget she was on the episode.
Yep.
You literally didn't see her until Tribal Council.
So she said bye.
That was it. And then we have Chrissy, right? I'm saying her name right. Mm-hmm. I like Chrissy. I think that we have Brian. I think that Chrissy Ben, I'm sorry. Chrissy is not a bad player. I think that socially she might have a good game. Yes, she's in the mom squad, but Ben is not much younger than I think Chrissy, if I'm right. Is he?
I'm not sure I don't remember the ages.
The women are 46. I know that.
I think Ben is like 41, 42, right?
He's 34.
Oh, he's 34. Wow, I was way off. Okay. But I think that she has a good personality, and I think that she is athletic. I don't think that she's someone who is a weakling, so to speak. So I think they're all in all a good tribe.
Yeah, I think the heroes have a good tribe if they can communicate.
The lack of communication is really bad, and if they don't have the script.
Yeah. And now heroes have the hero what's it called, a curse on them. It looks like they're picking up right where the heroes from Heroes vs. Villains came out. And but I mean I like the core four. I think they are strong, but Alan has to chill. Because it was before even the immunity.
Yeah.
Was it before immunity that
it was? Yeah. Go ahead.
JP like stripped down. I was like, holy crap! What did he just do? He was out of his mind. I would have voted him out. I would not. He's a physical asset to the team, but he just is out of his mind. And I don't see JP and Ashley as much as a couple, just as they paired together and talked. I didn't see what he was seeing. I'm like, am I missing something with these two? Go ahead.
Now there is a lot we didn't see because it's a lot shorter episode than we're used to seeing on the first episode. Now, so I kind of feel there is maybe nothing serious between them two, but I definitely feel that there's a lot of flirting going on between them, whether it be on purpose or not. I think he saw that, and he is very paranoid. He said in his pregame interview that he wanted to start, get the game going with a mad dash, like a sprint. I think that he wanted to start the game by setting the tone, and I don't think he's doing it perfect. He's not doing it properly. He's doing it very sloppily and very stupid.
Yeah, he's not doing it well.
Yeah.
No, he's honestly, he was worse than Joe. And I don't know. I mean, but why wouldn't CBS or Survivor show any of the flirting? Any of it to justify some of Alan's paranoia?
There was a little bit
flirting on the episode.
Yeah.
That didn't went over my head.
A little tiny bit, but
there was that part where they're like, that's our fight. Well, this is our first fight or something. Yes. Yeah. So that little piece there.
Just that little piece of
information. I was like, there's got to be something there.
Also, we have to keep in mind that we're at the beginning of the game, and these are tribes of 6. That's really small. So if you have...
It's very intimate.
Yeah, and if you have a strong 2 that seems to get along so well right from the beginning, that's a huge target. Because you can have a strong 2 at the beginning and a tribe of 10 and get lost.
So
and kind of blend in. But when you're 2 of 6, that's hard not to hide.
So I'm going to clear something up. I am defending Alan a little bit because he's on my team, but that was a really, really stupid move he did. That was really dumb. I don't think he's a bully for being a bully's sake. I think he's more just being really paranoid and just playing it off really dumb. Not nice playing dumb, that he's just didn't assess the situation right and he didn't act correctly. We'll see. Maybe he is a bully. I don't know.
No, I don't think he's a bully. I think bully is a very overused word, especially in reality TV. Mm-hmm. He was just aggressive with his paranoia. He let his paranoia get the best of him, and instead of talking about it, he was arguing with them. And instead of just saying, you know what, well, I saw you too, but he just had crazy eyes.
This was his plan, though. He even said in pre-show press that he wanted to frame someone. He wanted to set someone up, and that's what he was trying to do right at the beginning with JP and Ashley and the idol. He was trying to do that right then and there.
And he said he wouldn't look for an idol, but he would frame somebody.
He wouldn't look, but he was going to frame other people for things. So this was his strategy, right, wrong, or indifferent, or really bad gameplay. It was his gameplay.
Yes, it was just bad idea.
I don't think that's his personality. I don't think he's a mean guy.
No, I don't think he's mean. I don't think he's aggressive. I just think that his paranoia got the best of him. Absolutely. And I think he did. And I try not to judge because I don't know how I would behave in either of in that circumstance. So, he's probably a great guy, and it's day 2. And he thinks they have an idol. He thinks he's going to be voted out, and he's going crazy.
I think he had his mind set up on doing this before the season started, and before he found out whether it was how many people were going to be in the tribe. Because in a bigger tribe, this might have worked to his advantage. But in a 6-people tribe, when you already have a 4% alliance, to cause this much drama and now that you're going down to 5, that's kind of stupid. But at least. Now I know if I want to get somebody's pants off, I can just tell them, hey, I think you have an idol in your party.
That's what Andrea Belke said on Twitter. She said, "I've played 3 times and I never thought of that."
No, who was Haley? Who's what did she say? Did she say she would strip, or what did she say?
Yeah, Haley had to strip down right there at Tribal Council.
So they set it up in Game Changers for us, and it happened, even though I think they were playing at the same time, but when I was airing, but they set it up on Game Changers for us, and it happened on Hero or HHH. I'm just gonna call it HHH or Triple H. Okay, so Mark, I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce us to the Hustlers.
All right. So within the Hustlers, we have Ali, who is a personal assistant to Glozell. We know that much. We have Devin, the surf instructor. We have Lauren and Simone, who were on Exile Island this episode. We have Patrick, who apparently went to college with Ali, and Ryan, the Mr. Turtleneck.
I'm gonna do something real quick. Earlier I said it was Cole and Ryan. It's not Cole and Ryan. I don't know why I did that. It's Devin and Ryan got together.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And so Devin and Ryan paired up earlier on when Ryan opened up his super idol and shared that information with Devin. And Ali and Patrick decided to pair up. They didn't really say a lot of reasons behind why they paired up, but through some of the preseason press, we realized that they went to the same college, and I think they lived relatively close to each other before when they were in college. So there might be a little bit to that.
Yeah, Patrick, does he recognize Ali, or do you think he's just playing it off?
I don't think he does, because he didn't mention it in his press at all. And then when she was talking to him, she's like, "We're good, right?" He's like, "Yeah, I have a good vibe from you. Yeah, we're good." That seems real weird.
And from what I understand, from what Ali said in the pregame, they didn't hang out, but they hang out with the same core group. So you would think he would actually have recognized her, but maybe she had different hair. Maybe she had straight hair back then. I don't know.
Well, it's one of those things. Also, like it's hard to. Okay, she played college soccer at Auburn. That's a big school. So if you're like a college athlete at a big school, you're somewhat known. And if this giant redhead lives like just down the block from you and you don't, I don't know. It just seems that they don't recognize each other or he doesn't recognize. It's weird. I don't know.
Well, we know Ali recognizes him.
Men aren't very observant in general. I mean, men don't realize when women get their haircuts or anything. So I just think, like you said, I think it's just, and I think it's like, why would someone I know be on the same tribe with me? Because you could also think like it's crazy. Like I know this person.
Yeah.
What's crazier in Gabon? It was in Gabon, wasn't it? It was Crystal Cox knew somebody's cousin or something like that, or cousins knew like each other's cousins knew each other or something like that. It was something weird. I was like, this doesn't happen often, and when it does, it's like it's just by coincidence, and it's just people, I guess they didn't screen them properly. Randy, what look did you give that?
I don't know. I think it's when I didn't really agree with Kim at first until she said noticing girls getting their hair cut, because I'm real bad at that.
No, I'm actually, and I'm actually really good at that for the most part.
I think men are observant with lots of things. I just think when it's the little things, they don't notice the little things. And
I'll give you that.
And if she did have straight hair and now her hair is curly, it's just gonna throw him off. He's gonna think, oh, she looks familiar. But I see people who look familiar all the time. If I saw them on Survivor, I definitely wouldn't think I knew them. Especially if they didn't know each other's names.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll talk about it a little bit. I guess I'm pretty sure we'll talk about it more next episode. Ryan and Devin, which I accidentally thought it was cool for some reason. I don't know. That was just a brain fart on my end. Ryan and Devin, good job, bad job on Ryan telling Devin that he has the idol.
I first thought it was a bad job, and then I'm like, you know what? You don't have many people at this point. You have to try to build an alliance and some trust. Mm-hmm. And if he shares it, at least he has that trust. It wasn't like he can flush the idol because you had to use it or lose it. It wasn't something you can keep. So it wasn't like he can say, oh, we're going to make him flush the idol. So I thought it was a good on his part because they seem to get along, and I don't know who the threat would be on that tribe because we didn't even see them other than Ryan and you saw a little bit of Patrick and Allie, but I thought it was a good move.
See, other than Desi, I don't know if Desi got a confession or not. I don't think she did. But Blake says, we heard nothing from Simone this whole episode. This is interesting. I think it's happened a couple of times, especially with the 3-tribe setup. But I don't remember if we actually even heard her talk to anybody. Or
I don't remember her outside being in the boat.
Yeah.
So let's get to the immunity challenge. Doug says it was Marcus and Crystal who had a connection. It was like someone knew somebody and they knew each other or something like that.
Yeah.
So the immunity, before we get back to the actual immunity challenge, what do you guys think of the idols?
They were interesting. Yeah. I think I really liked them.
Yeah, I liked them too.
It's different from the dual idols they had before because it used to be like one piece that tears into two. Mm-hmm. And the second place idol would just be some crappy whatever the hell. Mm-hmm. And now they have actual like two separate idols, and I really like it. They look beautiful.
Well, and the little one was cool too.
Yeah.
If you saw the little one that Ryan had, like that was it was just a smaller version of the two other ones, and it was really, I thought that was really cool.
I like when they do these real nice what is it called? Man, I'm losing my language here today.
Elaborate.
elaborate. Thank you. You're finishing my words for me. Elaborate idols. I think the first time that I remember seeing a real elaborate idol was back in Thailand, where they had not only the idol but the set and all that, the tribal council set. So I like when they do that. I really like these idols. I'm not a big fan of when they morph in 1 and 2. I get they can go to 1 when they merge or whatever, or they dissolve one of the tribes, but this one you just get rid of one of them. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
This was a cargo. Was it raced up the cargo net, go down the mine cart into the bell or whatever it was that was there? Then you get to choose the 3 tables. What did you guys think of the different tables?
I loved it. I loved the idea, which the idea was Dalton Ross's daughter.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
which I thought was really cool. Obviously, bad decisions were made all around, but I loved this concept. I wish there was more at the beginning of the challenge to kind of put a little bit of a separation between them when they got there, because it was real awkward when they got to the tables of who got there first, who gets to pick, and I wish there was a little bit more separation at the beginning of the challenge, something. But I really liked that idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, and I know that they've talked about this later, but that when they actually start the challenge, or before they start the challenge, they actually go through each one of them and let them actually talk about it. So it's not like they're just looking at it. Everyone kind of knew what they wanted already, which it kind of surprised me that the heroes went with the more difficult one.
Well, it was the safe one because you couldn't fall off really. So
I think they did have little areas though that they could fall.
Yeah, just like one little spot. But like it was easily the safest of the 3. It just took it just was the longest route. So I think it's just dependent on how what you went for it. And I don't know.
Which one would you have went for?
Oh, definitely the middle one, especially. I didn't think so at first until you see the little raised edges on the side, which Rourke pointed out about kind of leaning at that side when you're there, and that if those are there, then it's obviously you take the straight path, because it sounds like that immunity challenge wasn't even close. They edited it close, but it really wasn't close at all. It sounds like.
Yeah,
the healers won like by a long shot.
By a long shot.
Yeah, I was surprised that nobody picked it. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I would have picked this one. What is there something I'm not seeing? Because why didn't anybody want it? It was a straight path.
Well, I thought it was really going to be really narrow, and then like not have any like walls on the side, kind of like they have the challenge in Big Brother sometimes where they have to roll it down the narrow path to the end. Like that's what I thought it was, something like that, which can take a while.
Yeah, but even
similar to the Candy Crush on the season, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think the hedges were just really a little too low for them to think that it's gonna be of any help, so they didn't really go for it. So
I agree.
Would you have all chosen the one the healers had, or would you guys have chosen different ones?
I don't know. I think that one seemed from afar. It looked like it was gonna be the easier one from all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So but the crazy thing is that the healers actually were the last ones to get to the part where they're gonna put their table in, and this is what we're talking about. Joe didn't look strong at all in challenges in the challenge. No. When he was having to pull that stuff up and
to climb up the ladder, it took him like 5 hours. I'm like,
yeah, it took
Ryan was up like in a flash, and Probe said, I'm surprised they chose Ryan, but he was up 1, 2, 3. Joe took an hour. I'm like, where is this guy?
I'm just gonna point out that Lauren beat him up the tower.
Holy crap!
So
I'm going back to the chat here. Blake says I don't know about you guys, but I love the music and all this. And this season, there's a ton of great music all throughout the episode.
Absolutely.
Yes. And Doug says about the minecart, this is the closest thing from Guatemala that will ever come back to Survivor, which is unfortunately it's true. I love Guatemala, but no one ever came off of it other than Stephanie. But Stephanie wasn't even originally from Guatemala. She was from Palau, so I don't think that even counts. All right, so at the end, heroes go down, and not only I'm talking about that literally, because Chrissy goes down and she starts to throw up. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that might be a medevac at this point right away?
Mike Holloway puked in the first episode.
Well, yeah, but that was his own fault.
They certainly try to play it up.
I didn't think so. I thought it was more drama editing than anything else. Because I'm like, what is she doing? I didn't know she did it for the drama, like sympathy, like in case. But I guess, you know what? I myself, when I get really nervous or stressed out, I do what she did. I do. It's just something that comes from my anxiety and my stress. So I completely related to her there. I didn't think it was a sign of weakness because she did pretty good in that challenge. So I wasn't worried like, uh-oh. I mean, I knew what was going to, well, I didn't know what was going to happen based on the edit, but she wasn't the weakest player.
Caroline says that she thinks that she faked it because it looked kind of forced. And then Doug says every single man in the coom puked in the first episode. So going back to Guatemala again.
I can't see it being fake.
No, I don't think it was fake. You can't fake that to come up. You know how long that would take for her to fake? She'd be retching for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I don't some people, I don't know if you know, but some when they puke, they make these dinosaur noises.
I would have had to walk away from her though, because I get sick if I hear people get sick. So I would have been like, gotta go. I would have went away.
Patty says that she thinks that it was her nerves. I think it was a couple things. I think it was her nerves. Just
Exhaustion.
being exhaustion.
Yeah.
Exhaustion. I can't talk today. Exhaustion. Of course, the lack of eating. You go from eating when you're at the pre-game Ponderosa. Of course, you can't talk there, but still, you got to eat, right? And then all of a sudden, just to running these challenges in the heat and all that. So I think all of that together comes and to play, and all of a sudden you're throwing up. Okay, so let's go back with the heroes because that's really where the rest of the episode. Yeah.
Yes.
We got the Mom Squad, who is pretty much on the opposite end of everybody, the Power Four here. And
that was hilarious when Ben called them the Mom Squad.
But they kind of knew that they were going to be on the outs because they're older than the other four. Knowing that let's say Alan, this was Alan's plan all along, whether he executes it perfectly or not. The plan to go up to Katrina and to Chrissy and to kind of get them to look at JP and Ashley. What do y'all think of that plan?
I think it's a smart idea, bad execution. But
Yes.
I think he had the right idea.
Yeah, this is why I'm thinking that this was not just his paranoia. I think he was paranoid, but I think it was more than just the paranoia. I think he, like we said already, he came into the game already kind of wanting to use that technique. He wanted to play, and I just think he didn't execute it perfectly, or even properly, or even close to being well. Yeah. Now the good thing for my guy is that Alan and Ben seem to be pretty close, so they're actually a duo if they can stay close together the whole game. So now there's 3 pairs of pairs, which I think it doesn't end up being true at the very end when we hear the post game interviews and all that. But we'll talk.
What I guess significant about Ben is, Ben did not tell JP and Ashley what Alan had done with Katrina and Chrissy. He kept that quiet. He didn't say, Alan is flipping over here. He kept it quiet. So
his alliance is definitely Alan.
To me, that makes Ben the better player. On that tribe, I think Ben is the best player.
Oh, yeah.
As of day one.
Because if you hear Ben, he says he doesn't trust JP and Ashley. And so he's letting Alan take the shit. Alan is Ben's meat shield right now, and I think he's the one playing this perfectly now because he's letting Alan take the hits now, and
everyone loves him.
Yeah, everybody does love him. Both sides want to work with him.
I like Ben. I wish I would have picked him. I definitely like him in this episode. I thought his social game was good. He's a physical player. He's not pissing anybody off. He's not acting paranoid. He's kind of everybody's friend and in every alliance on that because everyone thinks they're an alliance with Ben. Hopefully it stays that way and he doesn't get screwed by a bitter jury if he makes it to the end. Hence, okay, so TV-19.
So let's go ahead and talk about the Super Idol because Ryan decides to give the Super Idol to Chrissy, who he just saw pretty much hunched over, throwing up, looking pretty weak at the in the challenge. So to me, that was the perfect person to give it to because that's someone on the bottom that you might blow someone's game up and take out strong personnel. What are your thoughts?
I 100% thought that he assumed at this point they're going to vote out Chrissy. If I give her this, she's going to keep it. And if Chrissy and Katrina, because I would assume those two are on the bottom, vote out one of these strong players, is one last person I need to compete against at a merge or a tribe swap.
Listening when you do get to listen to your First One Out podcast, Saul, they do kind of talk some behind the scenes there because they're watching it all live. So for those of you that don't know, Josh Wiggler was there live for the first 3 days. And it sounds like before the immunity challenge even happened, Ryan and Devin went through everyone talking about the different who would be a good idea to give it to if we don't get sent to tribal council, who do we send it to? And their decision was made even before the challenge. Oh. That it was going to be Chrissy or Rourke. And they really didn't want the person to use it to hold on to it as maybe a fake in the future.
Interesting.
And but I don't think Chrissy's smart enough to use it.
I think if Chrissy and Ryan ever get together at some point in time, I think that could be interesting. But I thought that's
good.
I thought that was very interesting to hear as that was going on. So, and it kind of gives me a little bit of faith in Devin and Ryan because I think Devin is a lot smarter than we're giving him credit for.
Yes.
It sounds like he's made some comments while they were there to kind of really be like, "Oh, we were cursed with the red buffs," and so like people are like, "Oh, maybe he knows more about this game than we thought." So I think that's a great pairing, the Ryan Devin pair. I think that's going to be great. But I think Chrissy was the right choice.
I agree.
So let's get to the tribal council. First of all, what did you guys think of the set?
I thought it was cool. I thought there's something weird with the lighting.
Yeah,
the lighting seems really odd. The lighting seems a lot more fake than normal. It seems a lot more like soundstage lighting, and then I don't know. It's just something about it seems really weird this time. I really love the train tracks and the kind of the way it's all set up and how you go through there, but I was thrown off by the lighting. I think that's what really bugged me.
I liked the set, except that after we had this beautiful set here with Game Changers, and then this one it kind of threw me off a little because it was a lot simpler. And I was trying to figure out what are they trying to go? And I go, are they trying to do like a docking or a shipping yard?
It's like a trading. It's like a trading sort of theme. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird.
So I do like that they do go ahead and individualize each season set. Even when they're in the same spot, they change the theme a little to be. And if you listen to some of the podcasts here, they go to lengths to try to make it as authentic as possible. So what do we? I don't know. I don't remember too much of the tribal council. I don't know about you all, other than of course Alan just pointing out that JP and Ashley are a pair, and he points out that Katrina is the one that was the talk of everybody's vote. all in all, what do y'all think of the tribal council?
Alan was crazy again. I mean, again, it might be part of his game, but I don't follow why he's throwing people in his alliance under the bus at tribal. And again, it could have been part of their plan to throw off the mom squad. So I'm not quite sure. But then Chrissy had to know because she was a part of the vote. So I really don't know why he did what he did. Because to me, it just creates this target on his back of someone that you can't trust. And that's so big in Survivor in the beginning, is trusting, because you don't have a lot of time to save yourself. You know what I mean? There's really just not much time. It's very different than Big Brother. Big Brother, you have days to try to save yourself from being voted out. In Survivor, it is like 1, 2, 3. You lose immunity, you go to tribal. I'm hitting you.
So yeah, I think Alan is banking on Ben staying with him. I think that he feels like they're close, and I want to say that he wanted to assure that he was not going to be the first one voted out. So he wanted to make everybody look at Ashley and JP and say, look, yeah, he might be painting a big target on himself, but he's also painting a target, or at least the focus. He's diverting the focus to JP and Ashley, and by doing that, I think he's also grabbing in Chrissy or Katrina, whoever was going to survive the vote. And I think at that moment he knew who was going to survive the vote, because even though he was going after Ashley, even though he was going after JP, he didn't vote against them. So I think at the very end, I think it was all a game. I think he was just playing them all. Not to say that he wasn't paranoid, not to say that he wasn't stupid, not to say that he could have done this a lot better. It's just saying I think he's playing a game, he's playing a role. He just doesn't know how to execute it.
Yep, you gotta set up the next target.
Yeah. So Katrina goes home 5-1. And actually, last night I asked for any feedback to see if wanted to discuss something. Caroline actually messaged me and says that she asked, why on God's green earth would I think her name is Chrissy, which is Chrissy, not use the idol on Katrina after she said she was working with her? I think go ahead.
Because then, if you are 2 older women, stand out a lot more than 1 older woman. I think if she's the only one, she stands out for her set of skills, and it doesn't get looked down as, oh, the old women are dragging us down. You need the 3 guys. I hate to say it, but when you're in a tribe of 6, you have 3 strong guys. All 3 of those guys are real strong. You need all 3 of them. So I think that it's easier for you to get in with those guys if you aren't also dragging along another older woman. And plus, Ashley's already set up as a potential target going forward.
Yeah.
By all the drama that went down. So I think at that point in time, I think Chrissy did the right thing.
I agree. I would not have used the idol on her either.
Absolutely
because and only what would have happened is next tribal, they just would have voted out Chrissy.
Yeah.
That's what they would have done. And she voted her out, and she showed loyalty, and it doesn't mean that she's going to be voted out next, because regardless if she saved Katrina or not, if she would have went home next week.
Yeah.
So I would have tried to create some trust, and you see next week that it works. So I think she made the right move. I would not have used it myself.
Yeah, I would have kept it. I get the reason why people wanted Alan to go home. I get it. I completely get it. I didn't want him to go home because he's on my team, of course. So I'm just being selfish there. But no, I think she did the right thing, keeping the tribe strong, and she's now going to be able to go in not only with Ben, but I think Alan and Ben are going to stay together the whole time. So now there's 3, and they have JP and Ashley on the outs. So in case they do go back to tribal council, she's now in the majority now, and so she set herself up perfectly. Now, if she keeps Katrina and gets rid of Ashley, now it's them 2. And now Alan, Ben, and JP probably get together and just eliminate both of them in case.
But at this point, from her perspective, it's 1 versus 4 at right after the tribal. Because how would that be beneficial to you?
Mm-hmm. I think Doug just said it really well in the chat that the longer Katrina stays in the game, the harder it is for Chrissy to break from the mom squad treatment from the others. Now that she's the only one, she can make her own impressions with the rest of the tribe. And I think that's spot on.
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. So hopefully the next person to go to tribal is the healers, because I don't think I have anybody in my draft that. Oh no, I have Rourke, and Rourke is in the healers, right?
Oh, you don't have her.
I have Rourke in the other draft. She was my first choice.
Oh, yeah, we're in multiple drafts.
Different draft. This draft.
This draft, I don't have Rourke.
Rourke was mine.
She was almost my first pick, but she was my first pick in the other draft.
So I'm gonna go back to the chat real quick here. Blake says that he remembers Alan's eyes, which there were the crazy eyes of. They're probably gonna be the crazy eyes of the season.
He didn't blink.
Yeah, I think that has to do with his position that he played in football. He's a defensive back, and I don't know if you ever seen, like, I think it was Mike Singletary when he was really focused. He had those crazy eyes as well, and he was just so focused on what he's doing. And I think this is what Alan's doing. It's just that he's coming out really crazy in the episode.
Doug also brought up a point earlier in the chat. It says if Hero goes to tribal again, Chrissy ends up between 2 pairs, which is not a bad spot to be with Alan throwing suspicion on the younger 2. So she actually has options here.
I think Ben falls in the middle, and I think Chrissy follows Ben.
I agree.
If they go back, I think it's Ben's decision to go against the couple or to turn on Alan. And I think Chrissy will follow where Ben goes. But Chrissy's smart, and she may be able to make that decision from the back. But I think Ben's in the power spot there.
I do, but I think a lot will depend on the next immunity. Yeah. If she's a burden, they will get rid of her. If she's not participating and giving enough, like if she threw up again, then they might be like, you know what, we have to let her go. And then you have 4 strong, but they still lost. The healers won by a lot, and the hustlers came in second, and they definitely didn't think that they were gonna win that one.
So this is something that I saw on Twitter last night. This is at Survivor Central. I don't know if any of y'all follow him. Yeah. He goes, even though Idol is now powerless, I hope the real Chrissy figures out, which is Chrissy, real Chrissy H, figures out a way to use it to trick someone. # Survivor Triple H.
Was, as Blake just said in our chat, put it in JP's bag to frame him.
Yeah, and actually,
I think that's so smart.
Actually, someone replied to Survivor Central at Anna Paula J or Paula RJ. I want her to put it in JP's bag and then show it to Alan.
Absolutely.
I don't think she's that conniving.
Because that'd be fun to watch.
She in her intro, like her 3 things were describe herself, nice and she's not backstabby.
Was she the one that said
someone like Simone?
Was she the one that said it? Goes, I'm a liar. I always tell the truth. Was it her?
I'm not sure. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I think it was her. I think it was her. Yeah.
One thing I did read that I thought was really interesting is someone had an idea with this that they should potentially make it a roaming idol, that now it's the same thing, that if heroes don't go back, Chrissy has to pass it off to someone, and it basically goes until the merge, that they have to keep passing it until it's used, which I thought was kind of interesting.
I think that would be interesting until when our favorite goes home.
Yeah.
Until someone throws a challenge to be able to use it themselves.
Yeah.
But I think I liked the idea of willing the idol over to someone else. That played out well. I was happy with it.
It played out well, but it didn't get used.
No.
So, but you don't know, they might bring it back in. So you don't know what's going to happen with it. I just hope again that this season we don't have 15 idols
Yeah.
You know, and like Ty comes in and finds them again, and he just goes on a drive.
So I saw something funny yesterday on Facebook. So someone was, I guess they were confused about what happens, what the tiebreaker means. Like what is tiebreaker your back? So it was Kalish, I think Jordan Kalish.
Yeah.
Jordan Kalish is like, goes, what it means is that Ty gets a secret vote every tribal council. I go, yeah, that'd be good. Except that he'd probably vote for the wrong people. Okay, so Doug says, I feel like Chrissy gets her footing. She's gonna warrant more credit than folks are giving her. You know what? After yesterday's episode, especially after the rewatch, because I did rewatch it, I think she is a lot more savvy than people are giving her credit for.
I didn't give her enough credit preseason.
Yeah, so I think as long as she can survive, I think she can make it far. And Doug even says if this was a 10-person tribe, she would make it to at least guaranteed final 6. And I can see that. She was not someone who's going to rock the boat too much on a 10-person tribe or even a 9-person tribe because there's 18 people. So I think she can stay at least at the merge.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I thought she was going to be a Missy. That's what I thought we were getting from Chrissy. But I think she's a lot smarter than has a lot more game savviness than Missy had. So
Caroline had also asked me something else, but I think we already talked about it. Why didn't they go ahead and vote out Alan instead? Because he's just a nutcase. But we already talked about that. I think we feel that he's too strong. Yeah, he's too strong to get rid of right now. And even if they go back, I think he's easily a person that they can throw under the bus because of the way he's been acting. So the rest of the other people can gang up on him, especially if the muscle's not working.
Yeah.
So any final wait, who Katrina was undrafted, right?
She was undrafted. Yep.
So my surprise was during the episode, I was following a couple of people who were saying it's going to be Katrina or Alan going home. And I'm like, Katrina or Ashley going home, right? And I'm like, there's no way it's Katrina. There is no way it's Katrina.
It's not Katrina. They didn't give her any edit. She's not going home.
We didn't get to know her for enough for it to be Katrina.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was going to be Alan based on the edit. The edit threw me because you forgot Katrina was there until Tribal Council. There was like no. I even tweeted someone. She goes, "Bye, Katrina." I said, "Katrina's not leaving. They didn't give her an edit." You know. Did you think, Rainey, that Katrina was leaving, or based on the edit, you thought no?
Based on the edit, I really was starting to think Ashley, but the whole time. I just felt like Katrina was such an easy vote for the first vote, and I think I kind of got going into Tribal Council. I thought it was going to be Katrina.
So when I said it, goes, there's no way it's Katrina. We don't have anything of her, and I go, and then right away I put like unless she just didn't say anything. Which at the same time though, if you listen to her pregame, she talks all the time and she talks really loud. So I don't know, maybe she got a little grating on some people.
I just don't think she fit in this tribe.
I think she was a little bit different from everybody. She's a little bit older, but I think she was a little bit more. What is the word? Crap. A little bit more crazy. I think a little bit more crazy.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And you're not crazy in a bad way, but just not crazy Alan, but just a little.
Maybe
bit
like cat lady crazy. Maybe.
But because I think she does have a lot of personality. I just think she has too much energy, and it comes out the wrong way. And I think it might. Patty says quirky. Yes, that'll be it, quirky. And I don't know. I doubt that she didn't say anything. I just didn't think that it either didn't pertain to the episode, or portraying something that they could edit into the episode. And then at the end, it just had to be her. There's no way. There was no way that they were going to keep her. And I think she even said that Christy from the very first day was wanting to get her out because of the Mom Squad label, that she didn't want to be grouped with her.
Yep.
Here's the thing, though. They're not that old. It's just Katrina
compared to
so much older. I don't think Chrissy looks that bad for her age, but Katrina just looked much older than she actually is. I mean,
I think
46 isn't that old.
I think she had an organ transplant, and I think that might have contributed. I think
Okay.
was it her? I think she got sick or something like that. I think
Then that
might have
makes some sense.
Randy, were you saying something?
No.
Okay, I thought I saw your mouth move, but nothing was
Oh,
coming.
real quick, does anybody know that Alan was a pro football player?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Okay.
You have to be.
And he's not going to get recognized.
No,
he's not.
You have to be a big time fan of the team that he's in. Like I was. I saw the name. I'm like, and I looked it up right away. As soon as I saw the name, I'm like, I got to look this guy up. I'm like, yep, it's him. It's him.
But here's the thing: didn't Probst say something about football? Like he's throwing things off the boat.
That was
Patrick.
that was at Patrick.
That's a Patrick. Okay.
I saw something else. We want to welcome Andy Dalton to the the quarterback club. And I wanted to make that comparison when we did our preview, and it just flipped my mind. I was thinking he looks like Andy Dalton with the red hair and everything.
Stuck in the pineapples. That was great.
I liked him more than I thought I was going to like him. Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think in the pregame, I think Patrick he said that he was real charismatic and very friendly with everybody, but at the same time that they felt that he was ingenuine and that he was just working everybody. So they kind of like, it worked with some people, and at the same time, it kind of didn't work with some people. So,
yep.
Okay, so let's talk about next week. Oh, actually, before we talk about next week, Randy, what do you have behind you?
Oh, I have a shirt.
Guys, we have the Spyshack podcast shirts available at tpublic.com. I'll link it in the description. So you guys want to support the podcast a little bit, not a lot, a little bit of the sales for the shirts actually help us pay for the podcast holding for the audio version. So you guys want to check it out, you guys can always do that. You can send us your pictures of them and we'll give you a shout out.
There's also mugs and stuff like that. There's more than just t-shirts.
Oh yeah, stickers and mugs.
Magnets,
and
the thermos, the travel mugs. Yeah.
So we're gonna be trying to make other things as we go on. But if you guys want to help support us that way, that's perfectly fine. No one's obligated to do it, of course. And I think Randy also has his healers buff out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about next week. New alliance, right? New alliance with Ben and Chrissy. So This is what we're saying. Chrissy did the right move, right?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
And we also have Blake had talked about us. Cole and Jessica might be going into a romance, which this is probably might not be a great thing for my guy Cole.
And no one's surprised by this at all.
Yeah. Well, Cole was he's the one that he said he was really nerdy and all that, right? And he just buffed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope Cole can keep a head straight there and keep playing. New mistrust with Allie and Patrick. So we know Allie knows Patrick, right? She recognizes him. We're not too sure if Patrick recognizes Allie, and I think she's saying he's too. What did he say? He's too.
Just wild.
Yeah, is that what she says? I couldn't remember what she said.
I can't remember the exact word she used.
And we see him fighting with the crab, and even in this episode, he had that walking stick, and I was like, oh, I had him. He's a little. Yeah, so he wanted to eat it. I'm like, oh, he's trying to eat a bug and throw up, just like Mike Holloway.
I think that I had to walk away for a minute, but it looks like Patrick and Allie argue next season. Yep. Not next episode, not next season. So that didn't last long. I think Allie will go before Patrick, though.
Kim, you had Lauren, right, in your team?
Yes, I did.
Blake says Lauren looked like she had some good leadership skills with building the shelter. Hope she does good with this season. Everyone thinks she will do bad. which
I like Lauren.
I like when I had my final pick. It was between Lauren, Katrina, and Mike. And I think, even though I think Mike might do okay, I still believe that Lauren was my best choice. But there was someone in this group that thought Katrina was the better choice. Who was that?
Was that
Was
me?
it Saul? It was one of you that thought Katrina would have been the better choice over.
I think it was Randy.
Randy.
Yeah, I think out of those three, it was me.
Because I think the rest of us picked Katrina as the
first boot.
No, Mark and I picked Katrina as the first boot. Doug says, I'm hoping Lauren will prove the general consensus wrong. After hearing her interview, pregame interview, I like her a lot better than just when I just saw her meet Lauren thing on CBS.
Okay, this is my opinion on Lauren, and I don't usually say this, but the reason people discredit her is because she is a female. If she was a male, people would not be thinking the same thing about her. If she was a man at her age, they wouldn't say, oh, she's going to go first. They wouldn't, because they don't say that about other men that are similar to her. And I never say that.
I don't know if I agree, but I'll go with it.
You don't agree?
No, I think
if you don't agree with me, I'm not going to think like you're wrong or you're sexist at all. Not at all. I'm just saying that I think that sometimes when it's an older female, they're not looked at as valued as much as older men that are leadership roles. And if you don't agree with me, it's fine. I won't think.
I see what you're saying.
Dr. Mike. I think he was my first one out, if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly.
We'll have to look at the board, but no, I think Kim, I think you're onto something, but not necessarily like
I'm probably not
all the way there.
wording it right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like I'm not comparing her like to a Dr. Mike because he's like a weakling. I'm just saying like a bigger, older guy, like a Richard Hatch and stuff like that. People didn't second, first boot, this or that. Not that she's Richard Hatch by any means. I'm just saying that sometimes women are not looked at as strong or as valuable as men on a team, especially in leadership roles, because sometimes when a woman is like that, she's deemed, a bitch rather than a leader. I see how it's always been.
I see what you're saying, and I actually agree with a part of it. But I think the reason why we were saying she's not gonna do good is because of the makeup of the tribe.
I agree.
Because she is older.
She was my last pick. I definitely don't see her going very far, but I think that compared to Katrina, I thought that she was more valuable, especially because I figured she might be able to get food and do all this because she's definitely not a girly girl.
And actually, I think I compared her to Lunch Lady Denise.
Yeah.
But after once again, like after hearing the preseason interviews, I got a little bit more liking to her. Not that didn't happen with everybody, but the people we talked about, I did have a little bit more liking to her.
Yeah.
Before we leave, guys, anything you want to add? Anything we want to go over?
Can I trade out Joe for Mike?
No, I think you're okay with Joe. I think
I don't know. I think Mike is a better communicator, and Mike's funny. When he said he was a sex doctor, that was funny.
Joe is coming out way too aggressive to be dateable. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Well,
I don't think Joe will be dateable.
No, you're not going to be dating Joe. He's definitely a little bit aggressive.
Yeah,
I'm pretty happy with what I have based on our draft with what we have here with Rourke, Desi, Devin, and Patrick. I'm pretty happy with those four.
I'm not. If it wasn't for Alan, I'd be very happy with my picks. But Alan,
we're talking about our draft.
But Alan, I have JP, Ashley, Ryan, and Lauren. Those are my draft picks.
I worry about JP and Ashley just based on what's left in their tribe, but I think Ryan and Lauren are doing pretty good, especially Ryan.
I think so too. But if they can win the next few challenges and not go to tribal, I think JP and Ashley will be okay. It's really on Ben. It's really on Ben is going to decide who he doesn't want to deal with anymore.
I think as long as I don't lose 3 in a row, I'm fine, because this is what didn't happen to me last season. It happened to me in the challenge draft. I lost like 4 people in the same day. I'm like, ooh, how the hell does that happen? How the hell does that happen?
Here's the thing.
I've done fairly well on drafts.
I like Ben, but they call him Cowboy, and that doesn't really bode too well for any Cowboys on CBS shows. So I'm a little worried.
Definitely not beast mode.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. I do want to plug one thing. My other podcast is called Nerds from the Crypt. We just released our review of 2017's It. So you guys, you can actually I've been sharing that on Twitter, so you guys can hear that if you guys want to. But I want to thank everybody who has joined us in the chat. Thank you guys for not only being here, for being very active with us. We hope to see you guys next week. Remember, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that little bell button to keep up with all our episodes, and even when we go live, and it will notify you to either your email or to your actual app. I want to thank you guys for coming back for the new season, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.